Angeles, a good karma brands radio station. 710 ESPN, the radio home of the purple and gold, and the home of Lakers talk.
As the Lakers finish up the All-Star break, Austin Reeves and the purple and gold are taking full advantage of the chance to rest and recharge.
I think at this point of the year, I think everybody's a little fatigued mentally, physically. It gives everybody an opportunity to kind of reset and attack the last however many games there is.
The Lakers continue to build up for a deep playoff run, and J.J. Redick is showing confidence in his squad.
Getting all our key guys healthy. Obviously Bron has put in a lot. AR has put in a lot. Luka continuing to build towards being able to play his normal minutes, and I think when our group is healthy, we can compete at a very high level.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute. When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
Lakers Talk is on. Here's Andy Kamenetsky.
What is up, Laker fans? Andy Kamenetsky. This is Lakers Talk 710 ESPN. Thank you to all who are listening. I hope everybody enjoyed their long weekend, their Valentine's weekend, their President's Day, their All-Star weekend. A whole lot happening over the last, 96 hours. I hope everyone is refreshed. All of that, thank you very much for listening. As always, migrating with Lakers Talk as we hop around different time slots. We got some great guests tonight. We're going to be hearing at 6:30 from the undisputed king of NBA Twitter and NBA social media, Josiah Johnson. He is a Lakers fan. He is the host and ringmaster of the Gills Arena podcast, and he is also the star and producer of a movie debuting on Hulu on February 20th this week. It's called Memes and Nightmares. So we're going to talk a little Lakers, talk a little NBA Twitter, NBA culture with Josiah Johnson at 6:30. Then at 7:15, Shawn Davis, the host of the Sports Headlines Show and the Los Angeles Lakers Network podcast. They're both on YouTube. Shawn is one of the best in the biz at dissecting the Lakers, analyzing what's happening on the court. We're going to get his take on the final 30 games of this season for the Lakers, the push to avoid the play-in, all that stuff. Also want to give a shout-out to all the listeners of Locked on Lakers. Available 5 days a week everywhere. You get your podcast Monday through Friday, always free, never behind a paywall. And for the sickos who like to watch, there's a YouTube component. There's also, thank you, DeAndre. And also, Funchy is out tonight. He is on an extended vacation. So, Lindsay making a rare Lakers Talk appearance with us tonight. We're also going to get a very rare DeAndre Hawkins crunch time.
That's right.
That is going to be the final segment this evening. It's usually Funchy time, but tonight it's going to be DeAndre time. Also a reminder that DeAndre is the host of Lakers Talk Daily, as opposed to this show, Lakers Talk Weekly. All-Star Weekend is over. We'll save some of the thoughts about the game itself for crunch time. Dalton Connect acquitted himself well, I think, over the All-Star Weekend, the Rising Stars game, or whatever the hell it's called. His team got to the big boy game on Sunday, but the big story was obviously of the All-Star game in the weekend. LeBron James opting to sit out of the All-Star game, the problematic ankle that has been an issue for LeBron all season was acting up again. LeBron, talking about it, said, I was hoping it would feel a lot better this morning, but it's not where I want it to be. And with 30 games left and we're looking to make a playoff push in the Wild Wild West, it felt very important for me to take care of myself and understand what's going on. I don't want to say it's maintenance. It is maintenance, but at the same time, I want to look out for myself when it comes to this injury that I've been dealing with for years. I hope to be available Wednesday. He's referring to the game against the Charlotte Hornets, and you can't make it up. The first game after the All-Star break with the Mark Williams deal still, I don't think it's up in the air, but I think the Hornets want to convince you that it's still up in the air. They're going to be playing the Hornets. So LeBron's saying that he would like to play on Wednesday, and then Thursday they play the Portland Trailblazers back-to-back, but he is not 100% sure. But he then noted he's not going to be vacationing during, after Sunday. Often guys who play in the All-Star game take a few days off for themselves. LeBron said it's just going to be straight to rehabbing and working on that ankle, hopefully being able to play Wednesday and Thursday, noting it is a big stretch for the Lakers, which it is. They're currently 32-20. They're in the 5 seed, but it is going to be an absolute dogfight bloodbath in the West over the last home stretch, the way it is seemingly every year in the West, and certainly the last few for the Lakers. Because it's LeBron, it's going to get a lot of attention that he missed this game, and he pulled out of the game last minute. Like, he really didn't make it known that he wasn't going to be playing in this game until what seemed like pregame media availability for the All-Star game. The only criticism I would have of LeBron at all, maybe, is the timing of it. Like, I don't know how long LeBron has been really doubting whether or not he could play. Like, he said that he had been hopeful in between showing up to the Bay Area and actually announcing that he wouldn't play, that the ankle would progress in the right direction. I think LeBron does take this responsibility seriously. This will be the first All-Star game after 20 consecutive appearances in the All-Star game that he has not played in. Like, to put this in perspective, the first time LeBron made an All-Star game, because then it was 21 straight after that, was February 2005. George W. Bush was still president when LeBron played in his first All-Star game. We were still a couple months away from the Batman trilogy starring Christian Bale, like the first of those movies. We were a couple months of it. The number one movie of the week when LeBron played his first All-Star game was Hitch with Will Smith. Look at DeAndre. All of a sudden,
No
DeAndre,
way, yeah.
It was
That's crazy.
Hitch with Will Smith and Kevin James. Like, it's been a long time that LeBron has shown up for all of these games. So, like, the idea that he doesn't take the responsibility seriously, like, no, he's put in his time. If he had any doubts, I wish he would have maybe just sort of come to the resolution earlier or accepted the reality earlier, just because for somebody like, say, Norm Powell, who was on the outside looking in of the All-Stars, he was having a really good year. And this is one of the only years where a guy like Norm Powell is even in the conversation for an All-Star team. Like, typically, guys like Norm Powell, very, very good players, but not star-level players, they don't typically end up within sniffing distance of an All-Star game. So I would have liked it if LeBron really had doubts going back to, say, like Friday. I think it would have been better for him just to bow out then and give the league enough time to bring in somebody else as a substitute, in particular, maybe somebody that this might be their best shot. But otherwise, I got zero issues with LeBron doing this. Again, he has been showing up at these All-Star games, playing in them 20 straight to this point, since 2005. What really concerns me was LeBron leaving open the idea that he might not be able to play against the Hornets on Wednesday. Or, what does this do for the back-to-back against Portland? And I know it's the Hornets and then it's the Blazers, but the Blazers, heading into the All-Star break, they're one of the hottest teams in the league. They won 10 of 11 games, which, frankly, is not even in their best interest. But they've been doing it. Like, they've still been getting these wins. And the Lakers also, I'm not sure if Laker fans are aware of this. These next 30 games for the Lakers are really hard. If you go over to the Tankathon website where they keep track of, how close each team's, the ones in the lottery or flirting with the lottery are to getting the number one overall pick this year, the Cooper Flag sweepstakes, they measure your remaining strength of schedule. The Lakers are currently tied with the Clippers for the fifth toughest collective remaining strength of schedule. Their collective opponents have won 53.2% of their games so far this season. And teams 2 through 4 have won 53.3%. So the Lakers are, what is that, like 1/100th of a point off from second in remaining strength of schedule. And they're less than a full percentage point off from the number one team, Phoenix. So this stretch for the Lakers is really difficult. We've seen the last couple seasons what it's done to the Lakers when they have to play 30-something games of playoff-like intensity and playoff-like energy and busting their asses just to get into the play-in. And then from there, you have a playoff intensity game in the play-in because that gets you into the playoffs. And then by the time you get to the actual playoffs, you're more spent. Like, just, it is a mentally taxing thing to have to make that type of mad dash for that type of sustained period. Like, 30 games, that's the equivalent of like an extended playoff run. Like that, you could get to the Western Conference Finals or the finals and play like 30 games at that type of intensity. So picture having to do that twice. You don't have to picture it. You've watched the Lakers do it. If they can avoid that, and right now they're sitting in a position, the 5th seed with a I believe they're up 3 losses over the Clippers, and they've played 2 more games than them. But they're sitting in a good spot right now. But it's going to be really tenuous in the West moving forward. This is a period where everyone starts playing their best basketball. That was part of the reason that the Lakers kept having trouble last year, is because they were winning, but so were all the teams ahead of them. So they weren't making any progress. So if LeBron decided, I really should sit this thing out, thinking big picture, then yeah, damn right he ought to do it. Like, I have no problems with LeBron doing this whatsoever. Again, maybe the timing of it could have been better, really more just for somebody else who could have gotten his spot or just to deepen the rosters a little bit more. But the idea of LeBron owing it to the league or the All-Star weekend to play in it more than he owed it to the Lakers, no. Not even close. Like, LeBron's timing may not have been okay or may not have been as it could have been, but the action, cool with it. No problems with it whatsoever. Coming up next, though, want to get into Adam Silver's comments about both the Luka Doncic trade and the Mark Williams trade, both of which directly affect the Lakers. One of those players is a Laker. One of them is not a Laker, but Charlotte seems very determined to make him a Laker. Getting all that coming up next. Andy Kamenetsky, Lakers Talk, ESPN LA 710.
Travis Rogers and DeMarco Farr.
Back tomorrow at 9 a.m. after Clinton and Friends.
Luka has a
I'm
chance.
Doug Hopkins.
And I'm Damon Lyons.
And we want to buy your house.
With over 30 years in the business and more than 20,000 real estate transactions, Seller's Advantage offers a much better buying experience.
We don't charge agent fees, you pay no commissions, and you make no repairs. Seller's Advantage will show you a no obligation as-is cash offer and can close in just a few days.
Just check out our Google reviews and see for yourself.
Call Seller's Advantage today or visit sellersadvantage.com.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
They might get too far to say Luka could actually challenge that.
I think he would be on the short list.
That guy, that talent, the way he plays here.
I don't think it's a Luka thing. Yeah. I think it's an NBA versus NFL thing. That's the only reason that I would make that argument. But I think it's close.
Weekday mornings at 9 a.m.
It's Travis and DeMarco
on 710 ESPN.
In the know, I'm Amy Taylor. Were you impacted by the wildfire? Now that the immediate danger has subsided, it's time to assess the damages and think about next steps. Freddie Mac is here to help. If you own a home and are struggling to pay your mortgage, contact your mortgage servicer, the company you send your monthly mortgage payments to. If Freddie Mac owns your mortgage, you may be eligible to receive up to 12 months of mortgage relief without incurring late fees or penalties. Foreclosure and other legal proceedings can also be suspended during this time. This relief is also available if your job has been impacted, preventing you from being able to make your monthly payment. Your mortgage servicer will be able to discuss your options and explain how you can make up the missed mortgage payments once you're back on your feet. Freddie Mac has resources for homeowners at all stages of natural disasters, from planning and preparation to recovery and relief. To learn more, go to myhome.freddiemac.com.
ESPN LA and Beverly Hills Orthodontics are teaming up because we want to know who's smiling in SoCal. Go to ESPNLA.com and nominate who you think is making LA a better place. This can be a mentor, a teacher, a coach, a good Samaritan, a youngster who brightens your day. Tell us who's smiling and you could win some awesome prizes like sweet tickets from ESPN LA, Sonic Care electric toothbrushes, whitening treatment, and a grand prize of Invisalign from Beverly Hills Ortho. Enter now at ESPNLA.com and remember, you're always smiling at Beverly Hills Orthodontics.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-731-4558 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-731-4558 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-731-4558 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
All the latest surrounding the Lake Show, right here on Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetsky.
Now that the All-Star break has come and gone, Austin Reeves likes where his team is at as they gear up for the rest of the season.
We're in a great spot. We've been playing really good basketball, and I feel like we're in a really good spot.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute. When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
Now back to Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetsky.
Shout out to you, George Benson. There you go. There you go.
Hey, Funchy told me to keep this rolling, so I got
it. Funchy's one set of instructions to you. Keep this alive. Oh, by the way, I almost sent this to you guys last night, but I forgot. There's an artist. His name is like Lafo Labrie or something. I got to look up the exact spelling and pronunciation of his name, but I learned about him a few years ago in like the last season of Better Call Saul, and I guess he was pretty big in the 70s, but he has a song that is the original and the heavy sample of Eminem My Name Is, which I didn't know at the time that was even sampled to begin with. Like there's always a chance that something is a heavy sample in hip hop, but sometimes, particularly with a guy like Dre, he comes up with his own beats and his own hooks and stuff. I'll send this to you. It's pretty wild that like this is the origination of My Name Is. Andy Kamenetsky, Lakers Talk, 710 ESPN. Reminder, going to be joined by Josiah Johnson in about 15 minutes, Shawn Davis in about an hour, and during All-Star Week, it's funny, there's been so much talk about the Luka Doncic trade that took everybody by surprise. And how could nobody have heard about this? Like, it's impossible that LeBron didn't hear about it or Luka or whoever. Turns out, really, truly, nobody had an inkling that this was even possibly in the works, including Adam Silver.
I was surprised when I heard about the trade. I did not know that Luka was potentially a player that was about to be traded. That was news to me. I followed it like a fan from that standpoint. And I've said before, that's the kind of confidential information that's generally not shared with the league in advance unless a team is publicly shopping a player. And best to my knowledge, that's not what happened in the case of Dallas and Los Angeles.
No, that was definitely not the case. It was very, very behind the scenes to the point where it was a sucker punch for Luka. And Adam Silver also said afterwards that he understands the anger of the fan base in Dallas, obviously not condoning some of the vitriol towards Nico Harrison, and certainly not anything like death threats or threats to his safety, to his family. Those are things that are never condoned. But the idea that the fan base in Dallas is upset, he's saying he gets it. He also said that he is looking to give the Mavericks front office the benefit of the doubt, ownership benefit of the doubt, that he does not think that this is part of, because there are conspiracy theories out there, that this is like part of a long play by Dallas to eventually move themselves as a franchise to Las Vegas, where I think it is understood that at some point an NBA team will be in Las Vegas. There's a hockey team now. There's an NHL team there now. Like, now that sports gambling is out in the open and out of the shadows, Vegas is a focal point of all of this. Adam Silver saying that he does not think that this is part of a precursor by the Mavericks to alienate themselves as an organization from the city of Dallas, the fan base, all part of a plot that eventually leads to them moving to Vegas. He doesn't think that's going to happen at all. Personally, I think that would be way too clever by half by the Mavericks that they were trying to do that, because all you're doing is messaging to your new fan base in Vegas, yeah, this front office sucks. We don't care about basketball. Aren't you excited to have us? Not great. He also talked, though, about the Mark Williams deal, and this is really interesting. Obviously, the Mark Williams deal, that the Lakers flunked Mark Williams' physical. He took a physical. The Lakers were very initially excited to get Mark Williams. They traded Dalton Knecht, Cam Reddish, a first-round pick, unprotected, and a pick swap. Mark Williams, who had a history of injury that the Lakers were aware of, they acknowledged this when they made this deal. They said that as far as the medicals provided by Charlotte, the medical history, they thought everything would be okay, but obviously they needed to take a deeper dive with the physical, and then they saw some stuff that alarmed them, and they ended up failing the physical. And Adam Silver was asked whether or not this is something that the league needs to look into more, and he said, quote, "The larger issue is reflected in your question. In this day and age in sports science, is there a different standard of sorts that we should be applying in terms of players passing physicals in trade? It's something we should look into as a league. I will say this issue does not come up often. I can't even remember, certainly in my tenure, that there has been a challenge because a player has failed a physical. But almost by definition, you get into a certain level of subjectivity in where that standard is. But let's see what Charlotte decides to do. And I think either way, it's gotten our attention. And again, Adam Silver, contrary to a lot of the reporting out there, said that Charlotte has not actually officially petitioned the league to get the Lakers' decision reversed, the rescinding reversed, and somehow, I guess, force the Lakers to take Mark Williams. But my take here is there's nothing to fix. Like, there's nothing to fix here. We're talking about a once-in-a-decade type situation during which hundreds of trades have taken place without a hitch. And this one involved a player in Mark Williams with enough previous injuries that on its face, it is not strange that he'd fail a physical. I'm not saying it's a given that he would or expected. I'm just saying a guy that has played about 80 games over the last 3 seasons, it's not strange that he'd fail it. Like, you don't look at someone like Mark Williams and go, oh my God, how could that happen? Like, it makes some degree of sense. And I'm sorry, but the idea that the Lakers and Rob Pelinka would somehow decide, last minute cold feet, we gave up too much for Mark Williams. We don't want to do this. Like, it's not the physical. They just went back on it. That is such bad business. Like, Rob Pelinka, if I'm being candid, you hear this from a lot of people around the league. Not very popular. Not very well liked among his peers. Like, you can get into the reasons why, whether it's deserved, whatever. I'm not even looking to go there. I'm just saying that is a very well-established reputation around the league, meaning a lot of teams may not want to deal with Rob anyway. So then picture what happens if all of a sudden Rob has a reputation as somebody who will just go back on a pretty high profile, pretty big trade because #reasons, or I just decided last minute, not feeling it, whatever. Buyer's remorse. Good luck doing business moving forward from there. Like that is not worth it if you're Pelinka. Even if Rob did decide, after they agreed on the terms, like, oh man, like we really did give up a lot. You still do the deal. Unless there is something pressing, like in the medicals, which I 100% believe, I think in all honesty, what the Lakers discovered is something they did not expect, and what Charlotte was probably not even aware of. I mean, okay, DeAndre, you played college basketball. You've been through physicals. I don't know. Have you ever been injured before?
No, not to the point like an injury like Mark Williams to that extent.
But like when players go through injuries in rehab, they're not being examined head to toe for everything by their teams, or like even constantly being re-examined head to toe. They're just dealing with the stuff that teams know about. And like when Mark Williams was being rehabbed from his foot this season, like his back last year, like they're not continually re-examining Mark Williams' entire body.
No, they're attending to what is hurt. That's all they're attending to. Right. They're not worried about, say, if he had a lingering arm injury or whatever. They're not thinking about that. They're thinking about what took him out those previous games.
Right. So like I think it is totally, because like there are some people who feel or think that Charlotte was trying to pull a fast one on the Lakers and they got caught. I doubt that's the case either.
Does it make it interesting, though, that the Hornets reached out to the Lakers about Mark Williams? Is that why people are trying to put a whole bunch of conspiracy around it? Because they went out to Lakers and said, hey, we want to trade you Mark Williams.
Well, look, I'm sure, I mean, although they've labeled in their statement the Lakers the aggressor, they were the other team.
Yeah.
Just the other team, and they were aggressive, which may have been the case. Like, they may have been aggressive upon learning Mark Williams is available because Charlotte called them. But my guess is Charlotte saw that the Lakers, after trading Anthony Davis, had a hole at center. So they said, hey, you know what? Maybe this could be the best time we have to get a maximum return on Mark Williams, who's talented but always hurt. Like, this could be a team that might jump at the offer because Mark Williams is talented. He's got really high upside. He's got a 9'9" standing reach. It's got a better standing reach than Wembanyama. Like, there are things to like. So I don't think they were trying to pull a fast one on the Lakers. I think they saw, if I had to guess, an opportunity. They're aware of Mark Williams' injury history, which is probably why they don't want to commit to him long term. But I really doubt that Charlotte was trying to pull a fast one. My guess is both sides are pretty surprised by how this thing turned out. And whatever reasons that will eventually, I don't know if we're ever going to truly learn what spooked the Lakers, but my guess is both teams were acting on the up and up, and the Lakers saw enough that they did a very rare thing, which is rescind a deal.
There was something that was really stood out in that physical. That Lakers were like, this is going to keep them out for a while,
right?
And we want to get out this business right away, so we don't have to, so it doesn't hurt our chances of doing something in the future.
Look, they win it. They, by definition, if they were willing to trade for Mark Williams, they went into it with a certain degree of risk tolerance. Like you can't make that trade if you're not willing to take a certain degree of risk. Again, he's played like 80 games over 3 seasons, but I am guessing there was stuff in that physical that nobody expected to turn up, and I would be stunned even if Charlotte does formally petition this, I would be stunned if the league took Charlotte's side, and it's just going to be continually awkward when the Hornets play the Lakers on Wednesday. All right, speaking of guys who love awkward comedy, Josiah Johnson, he is the host of the Gills Arena podcast. He's also got a new movie coming out on Hulu that he's a star and a producer of, Memes and Nightmares. Big Lakers fan. He's coming up next. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetsky, ESPN LA 710.
The biggest show on the radio.
Mason and Ireland.
Hi, my name is Victoria. I am from Sylmar, California, and I just want to say thank you to all the firefighters for everything that you've done. You are so brave, so just amazing and brave, and we appreciate everything you've done for the city.
I want to thank them, Without them, the Fire wouldn't be the way it is right now. Little help, like you guys asked for. I got a few bobbleheads, a few jerseys, a few shirts that are brand new, and some baseball cards.
Thank you so much for the first responders and for the firefighters that are helping the community and the people of California, and especially Los Angeles. And thank you so much for your work, and keep doing what you're doing. You guys are the real heroes.
My name's Alfredo Famath, and I'm from Selmar, right next to the Hearst fire. We got evacuated, but I really want to thank the firefighters for saving my house and my friends' houses. I appreciate you guys, and without you guys, I don't know where we'd be at, probably without a home, but I really appreciate everything you guys do for us.
What's up, everybody? Cappy here, InsideCrypto.com, and I just want to take a second to thank all the first responders, the firefighters, but I'm going to take another direction here. I was talking about it on the air. Our friends at Lazy Dog and LA Live have been feeding all these firefighters. I'm going to send a shout out to all the wait staff who are feeding the firefighters, who can then feel good, be nourished, go to sleep, and then get out there and fight those fires. So to everybody that's helping, appreciate all y'all.
Hey, Henry Ramos here from El Monte. Hey, first responders, thank you for everything you guys are doing, and keep fighting on. And this is for Los Angeles. Thank you guys, and keep going. We love you, LA.
Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696 and manage your diabetes as easy as...
This is Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetsky on 710 ESPN.
With a 32-20 record at the All-Star break, newest Laker Alex Len has time to get acclimated with his new squad.
One thing I've noticed, the group is very connected. Expectations, and you can tell guys played hard extremely every game, so those things definitely stand out.
It's the home of the Lake Show and the home of Lakers Talk.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute. When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
Back to Andy Kamenetsky.
Yes, DeAndre, yes. This is the song I was talking about. Labi Safri. Hope I'm not mispronouncing his name. Mm-hmm. It's called I Got The. Mm-hmm. And then about 30 seconds to a minute in, all of a sudden it switches gears entirely. And it turns into that keyboard riff of My Name Is, the heavy Eminem sample. Like it just completely switches gears. But they use this in Better Call Saul. And that's where I learned about the song. Andy Kamenetsky, Lakers Talk, ESPN LA. Very excited for my first guest, Josiah Johnson. He is the host and ringmaster of the Gills Arena podcast, also the star and producer of Memes and Nightmares, a satirical film diving into the vibrant world of NBA Twitter and what appears from the trailer to be a search for the J.R. Smith Squints meme that I guess disappeared. One of the co-producers is none other than LeBron James. Josiah is also a big Lakers fan, so that's where we're going to start. Josiah, man, how are you?
Doing good, man. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely, man. So what was your reaction when you heard that Luka Doncic is a Laker?
I remember Shawn sent out the tweet. I thought his account got hacked. It felt too good to be true. Too unbelievable. Then obviously he sent the confirmation tweet shortly thereafter saying, no, I didn't get hacked. This is really happening. I think still just kind of in a state of shock that the Mavs would be willing to part ways with the guy's 5-time All-NBA selection. 25 years old, guaranteed first ballot Hall of Famer. But hey, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Whatever situation is going on in Dallas, that's your problem. We got Luka now. Let's get it.
Okay, that leads great. Like the messaging that Dallas has been putting out there, like with Luka, defense wins championships, culture, conditioning, dedication, like everything short of just saying that fat ass Luka is going to eat and sloth his way through his prime and he's not worth a supermax. Like, I've never seen anything like this before with a star player, Josiah. Like, either they know a deep, dark truth or they are just trying way too hard to convince us not to believe our lying eyes. It's pretty amazing.
I mean, you hear a lot of the conspiracy theories going on with new ownership, and obviously they might have some nefarious intentions with the team and location and things like that. But at the end of the day, 33-9-9, proof is in the pudding, what he's been able to accomplish. Talking about guy who helped get a team to the NBA Finals last year. I think what they were like the 10th seed a couple seasons ago, 5th last season, able to reach the NBA Finals. So whatever issues, problems they have, he don't play defense, he don't do this, he don't do that. Hey, whatever. We'll see. 33-9-9 speaks for itself. His career speaks for itself. So despite all that, like I said, still five-time first-team All-NBA selection. We'll take all that. If that's fat, slow, whatever it is, we will deal with it here. We will get him in the right situation. He's with the right guy, LeBron James, 40 years old, obviously still going strong, takes care of his body. So I think Luka's going to really be able to learn a lot from LeBron, hopefully gain a lot of inside look at just what it takes to get your body fit, be competitive, and be able to play, hopefully as long as LeBron has. So, like I said, we'll take it. Appreciate you guys. Everybody saying they got fleeced. They definitely did. Obviously sorry to see AD go. Everything he meant to the franchise, helping them win a championship, obviously playing at the level he was playing at this season. Hate to see a guy like that go, but that's a deal. I know they called a couple other teams reportedly, and those teams were unwilling to part with their star players to make it happen, but the Lakers saw an opportunity. And shout out to Rob Pelinka, the rest of the front office, for pulling the trigger on that deal. Not an easy deal to make, but I think one that'll prove to be extremely beneficial for the organization in the short term and long term.
Talking with Josiah Johnson, host of the Gills Arena podcast, also star and producer of Memes and Nightmares, a movie coming out on Hulu February 20th. How long do you expect it to take for Luka and LeBron and Austin Reeves, who also handles the ball a lot, to like really gel and for things to really start humming?
Hopefully it'll take maybe a couple more weeks. And obviously Luka coming off that calf strain, didn't play leading up to the trade. I missed like 16, 17 games, whatever it was, a lot of extended time. So it's going to take him a little bit of time to get his rhythm back. The nerves in the first game playing in L.A. Looked solid out there. I think gave a preview of what was to come. But I think Lakers fans, which is, tough at times, but got to be a little bit patient. It's going to take, a couple weeks, maybe about a month to put this thing together. But I think this team is going to be really, really in a good position by middle March, end of March, head into the playoffs, fifth in the West right now. So only way to go is up. And I think, a lot to be excited about. But like I said, have a little patience, have a little time with Luka. And the main thing is obviously you just want him to stay healthy, be healthy for that postseason run. So don't rush him back right now. Minutes restriction till he feels good to go. And then, like I said, mid-March to late March, we should see the version of Luka Doncic, hopefully, that we're going to see in the playoffs.
I wanted to ask you about this because there's been a few passes in particular that Luka has thrown to Rui. Like there was a drive into the lane, then like a bounce pass kick out that was just totally on time, on target, pinpoint. Another one in the lane that began as like a ball fake, then an over-the-shoulder feed that, I mean, for those unaware, you played at UCLA. Like, if I'm Rui, the pressure to make that shot off of that type of pass would feel insane. Like, have you ever been on the other end of a pass like so spectacular that you're like, dude, I have to make this. Like, I have to.
I played with a guy named Cedric Bozeman at UCLA who was McDonald's All-American, a big time hooper, but had passes like that. And the thing you learn, also played with Jordan Farmar at UCLA, have your hands ready. You have to be ready at all times when on the court. They may not be looking at you, but if you're open, they will find you. So you got to be ready at all times. But just to see the stuff that Luka is doing out there, and I know Austin Reeves alluded to it too, I think after that first or second game, but basically the pass he's throwing, Reeves was just talking about a pass that wasn't even, to the naked eye or to the, the casual eye, that big of a deal, but just the complexity of the pass and how simple that Luka makes it look. I compare him to a guy like Jokic, just in his ability to find guys. And I think if you're playing with Luka, like a guy like Rui, you're really going to benefit from it because he's going to draw so much attention for his offensive skill that now when he kicks those balls out and you're in the corner, you got to be ready to go, ready to put that thing in the basket and gain his trust and gain his allegiance. So once you have that trust, he'll be able to pass you the ball more. Now, if you start tricking those shots and not making them, not only are you going to feel the heat from Lakers fans, obviously we're very passionate, but Luka's going to stop looking your way.
Well, Rui's 2 for 2, so that's a good start. Talking with Josiah Johnson.
Yeah.
He is the host of the Gills Arena podcast, also the star and producer of Memes and Nightmares, a film coming out on Hulu February 20th. You star in it. You are a producer. Also, shout out to CJ Toledano, one of the writers, friends of the many Kamenetsky Brothers podcasts and shows. It is a satirical look at NBA Twitter, NBA meme culture, I think social media in general. How did this project come about?
So this thing started, I think, close to like 3.5 years ago. Spring Hill actually reached out to me, and they were working with Pepsi and Starry at the time, looking to develop a project that gave a look inside NBA Twitter culture and just the world. Obviously, I gained a lot of momentum on Twitter after LeBron called me the GOAT, I think back in 2021. So it was weird to have that happen, have that tweet happen. That really kind of helped elevate me on the social side. I was doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes, writing and producing prior to that, working with people like Ava DuVernay, people like Michael Starberry, Colin Kaepernick, had a show on Comedy Central. So a lot of stuff behind the scenes, but front-facing, kind of building the King Josiah brand. That was a tremendous moment for me in my career. Then fast forward about a year later, they reached out. They're looking to do something. I jumped at the opportunity, was able to work with an incredibly talented crew to get this thing done. And we actually filmed a lot of that, the bulk of that, in 2022. So we were looking for a partner. Anscape jumped on, and shout out to the crew over at Anscape. So now it's going to be on Hulu and Disney Plus February 20th. It's been an incredible project to work on. And obviously LeBron is my GOAT, so to be able to work with somebody that I have a tremendous amount of love for everything they've done on and off the court, getting the opportunity to now work under the Spring Hill banner has been a dream come true.
That sounds amazing. I was actually going to ask you about that because I've seen LeBron, like I've seen him call you the GOAT. I've seen him retweet a lot of your jokes. And like on one hand, that's really flattering. But was there a moment of like, holy bleep, these dudes all see this stuff. And like sometimes I'm making fun of them, and nothing I'm going to do is ever going to slide under their radars. They're all going to see it.
Yes, definitely. I think when I first started, I was a little bit more inflammatory, a little bit more out of pocket, if you will, because I didn't have a lot of relationships with these guys. But as you start to meet them, but also the mutual respect. Like I have a tremendous amount of respect for everybody who's played in the league. My dad played in the NBA. I played in college, so I know what it takes to be able to get to that level. And having never done that, I respect anybody who's on the NBA roster and a tremendous amount of love for all of them. So I did have to shift it tonally just a little bit because you get guys like LeBron that start following you, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, you know, the Trae Youngs of the world. And me, I try to keep it more team-centric, keep the jokes. And really I want it to be stuff that when they're in the locker room with each other or they're on the team group chat, stuff that they can send amongst each other. Like I don't really try to go at guys individually anymore, more just sharing in the comedic element of it. And, you know, but obviously giving those guys their love as well. So I want it to be stuff that they can share in their group chat, stuff that they can laugh with and be a part of the joke. It really is kind of just, you know, basketball locker room culture. So for anybody who's played on the team, you know what it's like in the locker room on the team bus when guys are just cracking jokes at each other, and you want it to be good-spirited. So I definitely had to shift away from a lot of the negative stuff as I've gotten older in life, become a grown man, and really just focus more on the positivity and helping elevate the game with good jokes, you know, good content, but also, you know, like All-Star Weekend that we just saw. Like sometimes you got to get the jokes off, and the NBA may be in the crosshairs or other people. So that just is what it is. But I also want to do it in a respectful way. And now that I'm, you know, I just came back from All-Star Weekend, I got to kind of look over my shoulder and go back in the memory bank to make sure it's not somebody that I've insulted or offended before. But by and large, I say about 90 to 95% of the guys are cool with it. And it's always cool for me when I see these guys who I've never met, and they come up and say what's up to me and tell me how much they love the content. So I'm going to keep going. But like I said, as I've gotten older, I've definitely had to shift it just a little bit tonally.
Well, this is also where it's good to be a podcast partner with Kenyon Martin. You know, just in case you need a bodyguard out there, you got Kmart. Never hurts.
Yeah, he was actually rolling around with me All-Star Weekend. So to have Kmart around, it gives you really like a nice security blanket to know that nothing's going to happen. And I love Kmart, been able to work with him for the past couple of years, man. Just a great dude. And I think, again, like the public perception of him versus the reality of who he is. Great guy, family man. But, of course, not a human being to be trifled with.
No, I was going to say, like, I have met Kmart a few times. It's been years. He has, for the most part, been very cool. There was one time, though, during the Clippers-Nuggets playoff series in 2006 where I asked him a question that he did not like, and he gave me a stare down that was so terrifying it ended the scrum. Like, everyone just sort of decided, everyone just went their own separate ways. Being in his 3-mile stare is a very intimidating thing. Again, every other interaction I've had with him, he's always been awesome, but it's frightening. In the J.R. Smith squinting meme that is a focal point of the trailer, did it actually become hard to find at any point, or did you guys just decide to use this as like a plot point because it's so well known?
I think we use it more as a plot point because it's so well known, but also really to kind of dive deeper and show that memes aren't always what they seem. So you look at a guy like JR, who, a lot of memes were kind of painting him in a negative light, as if he was uneducated, unintelligent. But you're talking about a guy who went back to college, is aiming to get his degree, made the dean's list, had I think a 4.0 GPA at one point. So it's really taking a deeper dive into the world and kind of going deeper into what these memes actually mean and how people are impacted by their use. So like I said before with you guys, like even me, I had to kind of shift tonally my approach to social because these dudes are human. And I think people sometimes miss that when they see how much money they make and they think they're multimillionaires and billionaires and things like that they're not human beings that have feelings, that have emotions just like the rest of us. So really from the humanizing element of it, and we use JR just because that was a meme that was, super, super popular at one point and representative of kind of what the NBA Twitter culture and community is.
Yeah, there's a clip of you in the trailer saying that NBA Twitter is the most essential and vital community in sports. Was this tongue-in-cheek because I know the movie's satirical? Is it serious, like a bit of both?
No, I think for me, that was actually serious. There is a lot of satire. It's more of a mockumentary, kind of looking at the culture and world behind NBA Twitter. But you look at the way that even somebody myself, like as a textbook example, you look at the way that this community has been able to create so many people that have gone on to do so much successful stuff. So you just look around the whole NBA Twitter world and how people have leveraged and used social media to build brands and create opportunities for themselves. And I'm a shining example of that, being able to have a film with Hulu and Spring Hill based on just tweeting. So I think what Twitter started as, and obviously as you guys know, the whole framework of Twitter has shifted in the last few years under new ownership. But at the end of the day, I think what the film really aims to show is that it doesn't matter who owns Twitter. Really, the community and the culture is what's important. So there may be things going on in the world, on social and everything like that. But for us, the community, and just coming back from All-Star Weekend, seeing a ton of people who I've built relationships with literally through tweets and DMs, yourselves included, like just connecting with people and then really finding and starting to learn and understand them as just real human beings and creating friendships and relationships. So for me, I will always celebrate that. As you guys know, things have definitely shifted and changed over these past couple of years. But at the end of the day, I think we're all just using social media as a means to communicate with each other, share experiences and help build and grow. So regardless of whoever owns whatever social platform, we the people will always, I think rise up, come together, and we will still sustain through it all.
He is Josiah Johnson. He is the host of the Gills Arena podcast, also the star and producer of Memes and Nightmares, a film on Hulu, debuting February 20th, all about NBA meme culture, NBA Twitter. I'm really excited to see it, man, and just really happy for you, man. You've carved out a really awesome lane, and it's been fun to see.
Well, I appreciate you guys. And hopefully these Lakers can do something this year. If not this year, 2026, but excited. It feels good. I've lived in L.A. my whole life, and it's starting to really have that feeling again. I think the Dodgers jump-started to winning the World Series. I was at Game 1 of the World Series, so saw the Grand Slam. And, Kendrick, Super Bowl, Grammys, all that stuff. But now the Lakers need to keep it going, keep this momentum going through the summer so we can put L.A. back on top.
Absolutely, man. Josiah Johnson, thank you very much.
All right, appreciate you guys.
And coming up, react to some of what Josiah said. Also take a look at the Lakers over their next 30 games. What are some of the most pressing issues? Going to get into that. Again, reminder, Shawn Davis will be joining at 7:15. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetsky, ESPN LA 710.
What's up, kiddos? It's Clinton Yates, the Big CY. You've seen me on your television. You've read what I write because I am first and foremost a journalist. And that's why I'm on live.
Hi, my name is Victoria. I am from Silmar, California, and I just want to say thank you to all the firefighters for everything that you've done. You are so brave, so just amazing and brave, and we appreciate everything you've done for the city.
You know, I want to thank them. You know, without them, the fire wouldn't be the way it is right now. You know, little help, like you guys asked for. You know, I got a few bobbleheads, a few jerseys, a few shirts that are brand new, and some baseball cards.
Thank you so much for the first responders and for the firefighters that are helping the community and the people of California and especially Los Angeles. And thank you so much for your work and keep doing what you're doing. You guys are the real heroes.
My name's Alfredo Famath, and I'm from Silmar, right next to the Hearst fire. We got evacuated, but I really want to thank the firefighters for saving my house and my friends' houses. You know, I appreciate you guys, and without you guys, I don't know where to be at, you know, probably without a home, but I really appreciate everything you guys do for us.
What's up, everybody? Cappy here, InsideCrypto.com, and I just want to take a second to thank all the first responders, the firefighters, but I'm going to take another direction here. I was talking about it on the air. Our friends at Lazy Dog and LA Live have been feeding all these firefighters. I'm going to send a shout out to all the wait staff who are feeding the firefighters, who can then feel good, be nourished, go to sleep, and then get out there and fight those fires. So to everybody that's helping, appreciate all y'all.
Hey, Henry Ramos here from El Monte. Hey, first responders, thank you for everything you guys are doing, and keep fighting on. And this is for Los Angeles. Thank you guys, and keep going. We love you, LA.
Thousands of smart parking, as well as hundreds of EV charging stations. Modernized terminals have biometric gates for faster boarding, and in the future, the People Mover train will connect travelers to LA Metro. For more information, go to their website, flylax.com/transforminglax. That's flylax.com/transforminglax.
Hey, it's Mace. Did you know Goodwill Southern California is more than just amazing thrift finds? They're transforming lives with job training, career placement, and support services for veterans, youth, and individuals overcoming barriers to employment. Every donation and purchase fuels these life-changing programs. For more on how you can help, go to powerofwork.goodwillsocal.org. That's powerofwork.goodwillsocal.org. Brought to you by GSC Verizon Skill Forward.
Lakers talk continues on 710 ESPN.
It's been a roller coaster season for the Lake Show, but since the addition of Luka, things are looking up for the purple and gold as they get ready to come back from the All-Star break.
We gotta rest. For me, I think it's more mental rest than anything else, but it's still gotta work, so I can't wait to go back to play.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute. When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
More Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetsky right now.
Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetsky, ESPN LA 710. Thanks again to Josiah Johnson for dropping by. Check out Memes and Nightmares on Hulu, February 20th. If you are an NBA fan, feels like a movie with a lot of jokes and references you're going to understand. Reminder, we're going to be joined by Shawn Davis in about 20 minutes. He's one of the best out there at breaking down the Lakers, dissecting everything happening on the court. And I thought it was interesting when Luka talked after the Utah loss on Wednesday about needing not just he needs obviously time to get himself back into game shape and to keep coming back from that calf injury that cost him 22 games. He got injured on Christmas of 2024. But the idea of a mental break is something that I hadn't really thought about for Luka, just because he had been hurt for so long. But then you think about the idea of Luka really getting sucker punched by this trade. Like, this is not something he expected at all. Like, he is somebody that he's in the process of buying his second house in Dallas. Like, he expected to, if not end up a lifer with the Mavericks, that he was going to be there a while. Like, he was going to be there through all of or the majority of his prime. And this trade, along with, Josiah and I talked about this, the way Dallas has been really messaging a lot of negativity about Luka. The stuff about Luka's conditioning, that's not new. That's been out there for a while. But, really leaning into the idea that Luka, who is not yet even in what most people consider his prime, he turns 26 on February 28th, and 26 is what most people consider the first year of your prime. He's not even there yet. The idea that Dallas is messaging too much of a risk for a supermax, we were not willing to make that type of financial investment. For a player like Luka, that's got to sting, man. And that's got to be something that takes a little bit of time to wrap your mind around. So I hadn't really thought about it before he said it, but it makes sense that he could use a bit of just a mental break, a bit of just the ability to unplug and wrap his head around a totally different direction in his career that just a couple weeks ago never even crossed his mind. There's also, too, the time that LeBron is going to be spending between Sunday's All-Star game that he didn't participate in and hopefully Wednesday playing. Ramona Shelburne shared some insights about LeBron and his health.
The Lakers sent word to the league about 2 o'clock yesterday that he was still dealing with foot and ankle soreness, and he'd been listed as day-to-day. And, he's had this lingering issue for quite some time. The sense that they reported to the league was that the discomfort in his ankle had actually increased since the last game. And so I think he's prioritizing the stretch run for the Lakers, but also he needs to get out there and they have a lot of new pieces. They got to redo everything. They lost their last game against the Utah Jazz. And I think, for him, he's got to prioritize that.
Yeah, there are a lot of moving parts for the Lakers to figure out, and that's something we're going to talk about a lot over the course of the next hour. In particular, something I'm going to get into with Shawn Davis. But there's a lot for the Lakers to figure out in real time. And what LeBron, I'm sure, does not want, forget the idea of aggravating this injury and missing time. I don't think he wants to put himself in a position where it's start, stop. He's available, then he's not available. Available, not available. And this ankle is nothing new for LeBron. He's missed time this season for it. He's missed time recently. Both of his feet. Remember, he had to go visit the LeBron James of feet doctors who, by the side note, if I'm that foot doctor, I want LeBron to say my name. To be known as the LeBron James of foot doctors, I'm sure LeBron's foot doctor, the LeBron James of foot doctors, appreciates the compliment, but it's how about a little publicity? How about a little shine, man? Let some folks with feet troubles know I'm the guy good enough for LeBron James. But this is something LeBron's been dealing with for the last couple years, and there's only so many years he's going to have left playing, and only so many years alongside a guy like Luka, who offers all these different facets as a player that LeBron's never played with before, and certainly hasn't played with recently. As much as he appreciates and respects Anthony Davis, this is a whole brand new thing. He's got to put this stretch run, which is going to be really difficult. The Lakers' strength of schedule is rough over these next 30 games. LeBron did the right thing not playing. You can argue with not giving the league enough time to replace him. Okay, that's fair. I don't know how long LeBron had been mulling this, but if you want to say he should have given them more notice so they could find a replacement, fine. But the idea that he sat, that's the responsible thing of LeBron. I will not criticize him at all for missing this game. Coming up next, I actually want to get into some of the things that I'm going to be looking for over the final 30 games post All-Star break. And again, Shawn Davis joining at 7:15. This is Lakers Talk. Andy Kamenetsky, ESPN LA 710.
The city of champions just got even brighter.
From Slovenia, Luka Doncic.
Luka's rocking the purple and gold, teaming up with LeBron, the king himself.
Here comes LeBron back the other way. LeBron down the middle. Another three. Good again!
And Don't forget about Austin Reeves, ready to shine.
Stolen by Austin Reeves. Reeves to the rim. Slam dunk for a new career high.
Catch all the action, all the passion, all the drama, all the big shots.
Doncic dribbling one-on-one against Walker Kessler. Three-pointer over Kessler. It's good. Luka's first three is a Laker, and the place goes nuts.
Follow the Lake Show all season long as they look to make history. Luka, LeBron, and the Lake Show live here.
But how dangerous can this team be?
Very dangerous.
On 710 ESPN.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
710 ESPN.
KSPN, Los Angeles.
A good karma brands radio station. 710 ESPN. The radio home of the purple and gold. And the home of Lakers talk.
As the Lakers finish up the All-Star break, Austin Reeves and the purple and gold are taking full advantage of the chance to rest and recharge.
I think at this point of the year, I think everybody's a little fatigued mentally, physically. It gives everybody an opportunity to kind of reset and attack the last however many games there is.
The Lakers continue to build up for a deep playoff run, and J.J. Redick is showing confidence in his squad.
Getting all our key guys healthy. Obviously, Bron has put in a lot. AR has put in a lot. Luka continuing to build towards being able to play his normal minutes, and I think when our group is healthy, we can compete at a very high level.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute. When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
Lakers Talk is on. Here's Andy Kamenetsky.
Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetsky, ESPN LA 710, and my apologies. I just realized I've been very rude. I have not put out the number to call, 877-710-ESPN. If you want to weigh in on anything with the Lakers heading down the stretch next 30 games, if you want to weigh in on LeBron missing the All-Star break, if you want to weigh in on what Josiah Johnson talked about earlier, a reminder we're also going to be talking with Shawn Davis in about 15 minutes. Again, 877-710 ESPN. Always love hearing from everyone listening to Lakers Talk. And obviously LeBron missing the All-Star break is an acknowledgement of the next 30 games and their importance for the Lakers. They are heading into a stretch where their strength of schedule is, I believe, 53.2%. That is the collective winning percentage of their opponents over the next 30 games. That's very good. The teams ranked 2 through 5, the Lakers are tied for 5th. The teams 2 through 4, I should say, are 53.3. So the Lakers are, for all intents and purposes, tied for the second most difficult strength of schedule moving forward. So LeBron is recognizing, this is going to be a bear, man. And the Lakers have gone through it the last couple of years, the mad dash that they had, playing playoff intensity basketball for 25 to 30 games just to make the play-in. They're trying to avoid that altogether, and that's what makes this stretch really, really important. Let's take a call. John from Van Nuys. John, you're on Lakers Talk. What's up, man? John.
How's it going?
Good.
Hey, what's cooking? Hey, so, I just want to talk about Bronny James a little bit.
I did not expect that.
Yes, I think the young man has done an amazing job. we have to remember he had a cardiac arrest before his first year of college basketball. He had to build his body up back from that. He played pretty much less than half a year of college ball. For a player that if his dad wasn't LeBron, he probably would play 3 or 4 years of college ball.
I think there's no question he would, unless there was a truly financial issue driving the need to go straight to the pros. I don't think there's any question.
But here's why I think Bronny was a good investment. First of all, what are you going to get with the 55 pick? It was the third to last pick in the draft. Second of all, LeBron is energized. He wants to be a positive example for his son in his work ethic, in his habits off the court, in the way he eats. So we're getting the best version of LeBron. LeBron has been better this season than the last 2 or 3 seasons. He looks amazing. Bronny James is going to be okay. He's got a 40-inch vertical leap. His shuttle time was in the top 10%. The young man is athletic. That you cannot buy. What I was concerned about, being so small as a shooting guard, he needs to be a point guard. So he needs to work on his handles, and he needs to work on his layup package. He needs to be able to get to the rim and create for others. What I saw, and I know it's just a small sample size, but what I saw in that last Utah game, when he hit 3 out of 4 shots, and the way he was handling the ball at the top of the key, especially on that last 3, when that 7-footer was all over him, and he had him on skates. That 7-footer was going one way, and Bronny was going the other way. Then he falls back and hits a 3, and the 7-footer with a long wingspan is lunging out at him, and the shot nothing but the bottom of the net. So I'm really impressed with Bronny's growth, and I really think that I'm happy that Rob Pelinka did the right thing for not only LeBron, but for Bronny, and I think that's an investment in the Lakers franchise.
I appreciate the call, John, and that's actually a really good breakdown of Bronny.
That was the best Bronny breakdown I've heard.
I mean, it was very complete, very compelling arguments. I mean, right now, I think even John would acknowledge Bronny's not ready for real minutes right now. He's not ready for real rotation minutes. He is a project. Time will tell whether or not he was worth the investment in ways that don't involve just making LeBron happy, appealing to LeBron's emotional side. And I'm going to get to Austin in a second, who's hanging on. But what I do think is interesting, though, the point about energizing LeBron and like giving LeBron an example to put out there for Bronny, and that bringing out the best in LeBron in terms of wanting to play that way. I know that was at least a bit of the Lakers' thinking in terms of the things that help energize LeBron at age 40, season 22, been there, done that, during the regular season. That, look, as much as I know he'll get up for certain games and as much as I know LeBron is passionate about his craft, this part of the season's a slog, man. Like, maybe not right now post All-Star break. That's where things start really heating up. But the first few months, it's a slog for a guy like LeBron, and I think having Bronny there can help a little bit. But what I think is really great about the Luka trade is, and LeBron talked about this is something that it's not even about extending LeBron's career potentially. It's just about energizing however much longer he actually plays.
No, I have not given it that type of thought. Just the excitement of being able to add a caliber player like that, a generational talent like that to our franchise, is something that's given me energy. And,
as much as I'm sure LeBron really respects AD on and off the court, like everything I've ever seen with them, ever heard about them is beyond a professional respect. They're really close friends. And in certain ways, AD definitely made LeBron's life easier, certainly defensively at the very least. But they've played together for 5.5 years. And at some point, there's a staleness to it in terms of the idea of something that would energize LeBron. And then in the meantime, AD can make LeBron's life easier, but LeBron is still in charge of getting AD the ball. And there's still a certain amount of work he has to do in order to help AD make his life easier. Luka is something brand new. Like, LeBron has not played with a talent like Luka, I would say, other than maybe the primest of Dwayne Wade, Like Dwayne Wade in his prime was like a top 5 player. Dwayne Wade was an incredible player. But it's been a long time at the very least that LeBron has played with someone like Luka. Like this is something brand new. And I think that is something that can really help energize LeBron beyond just what Luka brings on the court. Austin in LA, you're on Lakers Talk. What's up, Austin?
Hey, what's up, guys? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right, great. So, excited to be on the line with you guys. Big fan of the YouTube pod. But I wanted to talk with you and get your opinion on how our starting lineup should be constructed post-Luka trade. So, from my perspective, the Anthony Davis move was very not human-focused as far as, like, relationships. It was a very Lakers organization-focused trade as far as looking to the future and ensuring that there's going to be, a big name on the roster
100%,
for the upcoming
yes.
decade in Luka Doncic.
100%.
So, I'm looking at who we have on our roster construction, and I feel like to a certain extent, Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic have a lot of skill set duplications in terms of what they're good at, and also some of their weaknesses, specifically defensively. So I'm wondering, mirroring the fact that the Anthony Davis trade was very Lakers-focused, and to be consistent, if coaching would consider possibly putting Gabe Vincent in the starting guard role beside Luka Doncic to increase defensive prowess, and then maybe position Austin Reeves as the captain of the second unit, where he's able to act as a facilitator. He's still able to play a high volume of minutes, but where the basketball will be in his hands, I think.
Real quick, Austin, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I got to let you go just because we're going to be up against it soon. But I appreciate the call. And this has come up before. I understand where you're coming from, and there is sort of a cold basketball logic to it. Like you could make an argument for shifting Austin to the bench, having him play like a true 6-man role, the true leader of that unit. You would put either Gabe into the starting lineup or DFS, or I think you could even make an argument for Jared Vanderbilt, where Vando basically just plays he's an offensive whatever you want him to be, because Vando really is more of like a garbage player type offense. I don't mean that disparagingly against him. I just mean you don't run stuff for Jared Vanderbilt. He's often there getting, offensive putbacks, stuff like that. And defensively, he could serve as a guard. I would be very surprised if JJ actually went that route, just because Austin is, at this point, the third best player on this team. And generally speaking, there are exceptions. I think Lamar Odom was the third best player on the Lakers when he was a 6-man. But that was more just because with him and Pau Gasol and Ron Artest, then Ron, now Meta, you just had and Fisher. I guess Fisher would be accounted for. But if you're talking about playing a starting unit of Lamar and Pau and Andrew Bynum, that's a very, very little spacing. Like you needed more spacing. You needed to break up the skill sets, I think, more there than you might need to now. I'd be surprised, if anything, if you're looking for that defense. I think JJ, and he's alluded to thinking about it, that he would move Dorian Finney-Smith into the starting lineup in place of Rui, and let Rui be that scoring focal point, and let DFS shore up the point of attack defense and just the general defensive integrity. I think if a move happens, that's the one it's going to be. Or I guess maybe JJ decided just to go YOLO with like the medium ball and take Jackson Hayes out of the starting lineup and put DFS in there for Jackson. I would be very, very surprised if Austin moved to the second unit, even if, again, like I said, you can rationalize it on paper. I would be pretty stunned if it happens. Maybe Shawn Davis has thoughts about this. He's the host of the Sports Headline Show and the Los Angeles Lakers Network podcast, both on YouTube. He's coming up next, going to offer his thoughts on the Lakers. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetsky, ESPN LA 710.
It's the Travis and DeMarco Show.
Every weekday morning at 9 a.m.
The only downside to a chili dog.
It spills.
Can't eat it while you drive.
You park right there and eat, and then you go around again.
You
yes.
can't eat it while you drive.
No. Well, you can. I can't. You can't. You got to keep the wrapper on.
But the chili's going to go over the sides.
You got to keep the wrapper on. You got to make a cup with your hands so it falls
like
right
the
there.
Little doily
there
underneath
you go. Right.
It's Trav and D-Far. Back tomorrow after Clinton and Friends.
On LA's mega sports station, 710 ESPN.
Prize Picks is the place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. And Prize Picks, it's the best way to get action on sports in more than 30 states, including California, Texas, Georgia, and Florida. And Prize Picks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out even if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. And Prize Picks now offers MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your account this sports season. So download the app today and use the code TRAV to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code TRAV, T-R-A-V, for first-time users. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Enjoy President's Day savings all month long at Carden Alleyway Hyundai. Purchase a brand new 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe SC for just 2.49% APR for 36 months. Plus, enjoy peace of mind driving with America's best warranty and Hyundai Assurance Program. Visit us today at Carden Alleyway Hyundai, just off the 91 freeway, or online at CardenAlleyWayHyundai.com. On approved credit, 0 security deposit. 60 payments of $17.74 per $1,000 financed. Expires March 3rd, 2025.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-294-0222. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-294-0222. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-294-0222. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
All the latest surrounding the Lake Show, right here on Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetsky.
Now that the All-Star break has come and gone, Austin Reeves likes where his team is at as they gear up for the rest of the season.
We're in a great spot. We've been playing really good basketball. I feel like we're in a really good spot.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute. When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
Now back to Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetsky.
I am so excited to carve out the time to watch this Hulu documentary that's out about Sly the Family Stone, directed by Questlove. The trailer looks so good. DeAndre, did you ever see Summer of Soul?
No, no.
Oh, it's a documentary that he made about this concert in, I want to say it was in Harlem, that came out, it was like in the same month as Woodstock. Or it might have been even the same weekend as Woodstock, and it got completely overshadowed despite having this incredible lineup with like Nina Simone, I think Sly and the Family Stone, and all these other, Stevie Wonder. It's incredible artists, and the footage had been gone forever. And it was eventually like uncovered, and they got the rights for it, and Questlove won the Oscar for Best Documentary for it. It's amazing. His editing of the musicians for the SNL weekend was unreal, so really excited to see that. And also really excited to talk with Shawn Davis. He's the host of the Sports Headlines Show and the Los Angeles Lakers Network podcast. They're both on YouTube. He's an essential Lakers follow on Twitter at Shawn, SEAN_DAVI. Really great job breaking down everything happening with the Lakers. What's up, Shawn?
Hey, what's up, Andy? Thanks for having me on. Excited to talk Lakers basketball with you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's been a really small sample size, obviously, with Luka, who is admittedly rusty. He's admittedly not up to game speed. But in terms of what's popped for you, what have you seen, I guess, the potential effect with the Lakers?
With adding Luka?
Yeah, with adding Luka, or what you've seen just from him on the court, like what's jumped out at you so far, even acknowledging there's still things to figure out.
Yeah, I think Luka, especially once he kind of gets acclimated into the system, I think it's pretty unfair how you have the two biggest, JJ calls them like supercomputers, I think, in the league right now. And just in terms of their ability to just dissect defenses from a standstill, essentially. And we've even seen Luka's unreal ability to find corner skip passes. He's trying to couple to Rui, I think, that yes. That kind of caught Rui by surprise a little bit. And JJ's kind of like, funny enough added it. A couple of them were a little off target. But I think Luka has the case that he made to be the best skip passer, advantage skip passer specifically in the league. And seeing that already has given this Lakers, it will give this Lakers team a big advantage. And I made a tweet that somehow was kind of controversial, even though I think it's pretty obvious that, in a playoff setting, the Lakers sit fifth right now in the Western Conference currently. I want to say they're like 1.5 games back. They're 2.5 back of the 3 seed currently. In a playoff setting, the Lakers have the best playmaking trio in the league. And Luka and LeBron and Austin Reeves. So already be able to see just a little bit of what Luka provides from that lens has been really, really fun.
The people that found that tweet controversial, who were they pushing back? Like who do they give as an example to be a better trio?
I think one of the ones was like Jokic, Jamal, and Westbrook, which I'm like, okay. I mean, Jokic is obviously insane for his own reasons, but like nobody. I mean, whoever you think the Lakers' second best playmaker is in that group, which would probably be Bron, actually. Like, there's nobody on Denver that is on Bron's level as the playmaker, not named Jokic. So, I mean, even Reeves. Like Reeves is probably comparable to Russ at this point as a playmaker. That might be a hot take. But, I mean, yeah, that was one of the bigger responses was like, did we just forget about Denver? I'm like, no, Luka and LeBron are that good.
Yeah, I mean, even if you would say Jokic is number one of the LeBron, Jokic, Luka trio, which fine. I mean, whatever. That is a perfectly reasonable statement. You can't rate LeBron and Luka anything lower than 2 and 3 from there. And then you're at worst arguing about Reeves versus Jamal Murray and Russell Westbrook, and those are the lesser of the three anyway. And whoever you think is 4 between Reeves, Murray, and Westbrook, the gap between that 4 and LeBron and Luka, let's say theoretically at 2 and 3, it's a pretty sizable gap.
Right. And I think I actually take Reeves over Jamal. So, okay, Russ is 4. Good job. But Reeves is better than Jamal as a playmaker. So, either way, I still win.
There you go. Talking with Shawn Davis, host of the Sports Headline Show and the Los Angeles Lakers Network podcast. You can find them both on YouTube. Speaking of that LeBron and Luka tandem, like, what are you most curious about to see take shape, like in the way that they interact?
I'm curious to see how they're able to get the defensive side of the floor together, and how they're able to, I don't know if hide them is the right way to phrase it, but I mean, look at two guys in a regular season that are going to be lower impactful defensive players. And then you also have Reeves, who I think we all say Austin tries defensively, and we'll give him credit for that, but I wouldn't say any Laker fan would say Austin is a great defender by any means. So how they're able to kind of balance those three guys defensively, and what lineups is JJ able to put on the floor to kind of makes their lives easier defensively. Because offensively, I have like zero concern whatsoever about Bron and Luka, or all three of them be able to find a fit. It's really just going to be like, when does Luka kind of round into shape and get comfortable with the system and play with his new teammates. Luka's kind of talked about the emotional toll the past couple of weeks have been for him. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to, Andy. Is like, when does Luka really start to lock in and get back in the form? Because that's when this Lakers team can look really, really scary.
Those defensive issues that you just talked about, Shawn, we're talking with Shawn Davis, the host of the Sports Headline Show and the Los Angeles Lakers Network podcast, both on YouTube. Would you consider a lineup tweak? Like, I know the DFS versus Rui thing has come up. JJ's even acknowledged having molded over himself. We had a call earlier about moving Austin to the bench, which I understand the logic. I don't think it would happen. But do you think there are tweaks that need to be made in the starting lineup for defensive purposes, or do you think it's more about just the rotations?
I think it just makes the most sense, in my opinion, to move Dorian Finney-Smith into the starting lineup personally. Mm-hmm. Because if you look at the, overall landscape of the roster, the Lakers have 4 positive defensive players at this point. And that's Dorian Finney-Smith, Jerry Vanderbilt. I think Gabe is a pretty positive defensively.
I would agree.
And then for the sake of the team, Jackson Hayes is a defensive positive, because I think we saw what they looked like without him against Utah. And they've been the 4th best defense the last 15 games or so. And a lot of that, I think you have to give Jackson some credit for the way he's played recently. But, legitimately, you have 4 good defensive players on the team. And I think giving yourself as much lineup balance as possible, because you don't need necessarily Rui with that starting group. You just don't. The ball's going to be in Luka's hands a lot. It's going to be in Bron's hands. It's going to be in Austin's hands a lot. And what Dorian adds is just something simple. We don't ever have to worry about running a set play for Dorian Finney-Smith. Dorian Finney-Smith's offense is going to be off of Luka. It's going to be Luka's offense or Austin's offense or LeBron. Let Rui kind of be that microwavable bench piece, along with a Dom Connect that can come in and, maybe attack a mismatch, or maybe we'll now run maybe a more organized action for Rui off the bench. And you just are able to fill out lineups more easily that way. And he can just be LeBron's sub 1-for-1, and that's an easy transition to your small ball stuff, in my opinion. In my opinion, I think Dorian Finney-Smith into the starting lineup just makes the most sense, especially when you get to some of those, tougher matchups where currently, who's guarding the opposing team? Who's guarding Shea today? If your starting lineup is Luka, Austin, Bron, Rui, Jackson Hayes. Is it Rui? Is it Austin? Either way, you don't feel good about it.
No, we saw there was Rui's been guarding guys like Jordan Clarkson, often I think by design, and in the last couple of games, and it did not look particularly good. And not necessarily knock on Rui. He's not really meant to be guarding a quick guard. It's interesting. First of all, I think a lot of this is really going to hinge on LeBron's effort level and that type of engagement, because when he's on, he can be at worst a neutral defender, but I think when he's actually engaged, he can.
I think we saw that first Jazz game,
right?
Luka's first Jazz game,
right? He can move into plus defender territory. What's interesting though, the DFS Rui thing, because for a while I've been on the exact same opinion as you. Move Rui to the bench, start DFS, gives you more unit balance. But then lately, JJ's been taking Jackson Hayes out of the game, usually 2 or 3 minutes
really early.
Right, and subbing in, DFS, which in this particular case would be Rui, if we flip things. I've been wondering now if those type of rotations maintain, unless it's for specific matchup purposes. I'm actually wondering now if it even matters, because you're still going to end up with these long extended periods with DFS and Rui out there together.
Yeah. And that's an interesting point, and it was definitely noticeable in the first Jazz game for sure. In Luka's first game, how quick they took Jackson Hayes out. And some of that feels it's a mistake. All right, we're going to pull Jackson, but some of that might just be the new rotation. So that'll be something that I'm curious to see if that continues going forward, especially now that the hope is that all these guys are kind of off their minutes restrictions, specifically Dorian Finney-Smith. and
Vando.
What Vando's role looks like. Yeah. So that's an interesting point.
Talking with Shawn Davis, the host of the Sports Headline Show and the Los Angeles Lakers Network podcast, both on YouTube. Follow him on Twitter at Shawn, SEAN_DAVI. Lakers talking to Kim Minetsky, ESPN LA. Talking about the defense staying on it, like it's interesting the place that the Lakers are in right now where Jackson Hayes is their only center that we know is going to get like legitimate playing time, like definitive playing time. And we know there's going to be a lot of time with no center and just some of their larger forwards. It's been working pretty well for about a month. How sustainable do you think this actually is moving forward?
I think Jackson Hayes are kind of like just their center rotation in general.
Well, I mean, I guess a bit of both because Jackson's viability as the one lone big, I think in some ways affects the viability of how small they can or can't go.
I think I have some major concerns, for a playoff setting. I think the big situation is the biggest thing that could hold them back in a playoff scenario, because I think now your size, which was a big advantage at one particular point, obviously we got AD. This is probably a weakness now of the team. And I mean, you get to a playoff matchup. I mean, Denver's kind of had your number in general, but you have no size for a Denver matchup. And that's a matchup where Jackson Hayes, I don't feel good about in. Even a Memphis series, Memphis can kind of get really, really big and make things tough for Jackson Hayes. Curious to see how like a Zubac would work with Hayes. I think that, and then now we'll resort to going small, but then there's going to be a playoff setting where I don't feel good. It's going to basically come down to can Luka and Bron kind of bail you out for, a series or multiple series at a time. And that kind of hurts their defense too, because a month ago back, I was on a podcast and they asked me, which do I think is more sustainable, the Lakers defense or their offense? And I said their defense, because playoff setting, it's AD. Game was just starting to round into form. You're going to get Vando back. They had just traded for Dorian Finney-Smith. I mean, he had Max Christie.
Right.
Who would help so much right now.
Boy, he has been really good in Dallas, man. Shout out to him.
Yeah, he's balling. And that was a good thing. I thought their defense would be the thing to translate. But now it's the defense as well as they're playing right now. Like I said, last 15 games, I want to say they're fourth in defensive rating, and a lot of that has been, more plus Jackson Hayes and very little AD during that stretch. But that's the thing I'm looking at, like, yeah, that's probably fake, to be completely honest with you. And the Lakers have a gauntlet of a schedule coming up, and, we'll be able to see. And if Jackson Hayes is able to kind of stay at this level, then that's where, we can start talking again about title aspirations, because Jackson Hayes at this level, it's probably good enough to where you can win a few rounds and you get to like that Denver scenario or whatever, and you really just need Bron and Luka to bail you out for a series. And then, at that point, it's, anybody's game. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, and it would be extremely helpful if somebody knocked Denver out of the playoffs before the Lakers potentially face them. He is Shawn Davis. He is the host of the Sports Headline Show and the Los Angeles Lakers Network podcast. You can find him both on YouTube. Follow him on Twitter at Shawn_DAVI. Always appreciate the time, man. Thank you.
Thanks, Andy.
And again, be sure to follow Shawn on Twitter. Like, it's just really, really great breakdowns of the Lakers. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit more about the defense and those questions that Shawn raised. Also take your calls, 877-710-ESPN, if you want to weigh in. And again, we are going to have, in about 15 or so minutes, the debut of Crunch Time, led by DeAndre Hawkins. Very, very exciting era of Lakers talk. Andy Kamenetsky, 710 ESPN.
What's up, kiddos? It's Clinton Yates, the Big CY. You've seen me on your television. You've read what I write because
Hi, my name is Victoria. I am from Silmar, California, and I just want to say thank you to all the firefighters for everything that you've done. You are so brave, so just amazing and brave, and we appreciate everything you've done for the city.
I want to thank them,
Without them, the fire wouldn't be the way it is right now. You know, little help like you guys asked for. You know, I got a few bobbleheads, a few jerseys, a few shirts that are brand new, and some baseball cards.
Thank you so much for the first responders and for the firefighters that are helping the community and the people of California and especially Los Angeles. And thank you so much for your work and keep doing what you're doing. You guys are the real heroes.
My name's Alfredo Famath, and I'm from Selmar, right next to the Hearst fire. We got evacuated, but I really want to thank the firefighters for saving my house and my friends' houses. You know, I appreciate you guys, and without you guys, I don't know where to be at. You know, probably without a home, but I really appreciate everything you guys do for us.
What's up, everybody? Cappy here, InsideCrypto.com, and I just want to take a second to thank all the first responders, the firefighters, but I'm going to take another direction here. I was talking about it on the air. Our friends at Lazy Dog and LA Live have been feeding all these firefighters. I'm going to send a shout out to all the wait staff who are feeding the firefighters, who can then feel good, be nourished, go to sleep, and then get out there and fight those fires. So to everybody that's helping, appreciate all y'all.
Hey, Henry Ramos here from El Monte. Hey, first responders, thank you for everything you guys are doing, and keep fighting on. And this is for Los Angeles. Thank you guys, and keep going. We love you, LA.
Sure, who brightens your day? Tell us who's smiling and you could win some awesome prizes like sweet tickets from ESPN LA, Sonic Care electric toothbrushes, whitening treatment, and a grand prize of Invisalign from Beverly Hills Ortho. Enter now at ESPNLA.com, and remember, you're always smiling at Beverly Hills Orthodontics.
Welcome to TGL, presented by SoFi, golf's newest league. It's sharp and it's electric. How is it sharp? How is it electric? Good questions. Try this on for size. 2 hours of hammer dropping, overtime, forcing, playoffs on the line, golf. With 24 of the best players from the PGA Tour, split into 6 teams: Atlanta, Boston, Jupiter, LA, New York, and the Bay. This isn't your average Sunday pickup game. Tune in every week for TGL matches, only on ESPN. Keep up. It's golf.
Hello, it's Robin Roberts here.
Hey guys, it's George Stephanopoulos here.
Hey everybody, it's Michael Strahan here. Wake up with Good Morning America.
Robin, George, Michael, GMA, America's favorite #1 morning show. The morning's first breaking news, exclusive interviews, what everyone will be talking about that day. Put some good in your morning and start your day with GMA.
Good Morning America.
Put the good in your morning. GMA 7A on ABC.
Lakers talk continues on 710 ESPN.
It's been a roller coaster season for the Lake Show, but since the addition of Luka, things are looking up for the purple and gold as they get ready to come back from the All-Star break.
We got to rest. For me, I think it's more mental rest than anything else, but still got to work, so I can't wait to go back to play.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute. When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
More Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetsky right now.
Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetsky, ESPN LA 710. Thanks again to Shawn Davis for dropping by, and 877-710-ESPN if you want to weigh in. Shawn and I talked a lot about the defense for the Lakers, which is going to be critical moving forward, and the defense has been really good of late, over like the last month or so, even during the period pre-Anthony Davis trade, when AD was out and they had to maintain a defense when he was injured, you know, again, before they even acquired Luka Doncic, when AD was still on the roster. And they had been doing very well with this unit that sometimes went Jackson Hayes, although I actually think it's interesting. I think Jackson often plays better defensively when he's out on the perimeter in space, like when they move him out there more than as a lane protector. Like, he's got pretty quick feet for his size, and I think he also often avoids fouls more when he's out there as opposed to guarding the lane.
Because when he's in the paint, man, oh my goodness, he be fouling out way too much, man.
And it's something actually that I've liked seeing JJ do, like the idea of not always putting Jackson in drop coverage, because even though I know like it creates a scenario where you have to rely on other guys rotating, low man, and all that stuff, I think rather than forcing Jackson into something that he isn't as good at, put him in a place where he actually can be better defensively, and then hope some of the other guys can compensate, that can rotate over. Like it's not going to be perfect, and it's not going to be as good as it was with AD. I will say though, DeAndre, that there may be something to the idea of these guys recognizing AD's not there to bail us out.
We gotta keep guys in front.
Yeah, he is not there to erase a lot of our mistakes. And for that matter, Max Christie is not there to be one of the best perimeter defenders that we have. We're going to have to do a lot of this stuff on our own.
And I think that's why they looked at it. Well, okay, you got rid of Max Christie, right? But that's why they got Gabe Vincent, because he was taking that charge when he was with Miami as far as being a tough-nosed, hard-nosed defender, keeping guys in front. And he's also been improving around the perimeter as well, getting his shot together. But I was going to say, how would you feel about the Lakers incorporating that small ball going for the rest of the – how sustainable is that, being a small ball lineup by putting Finney-Smith at the 5 and putting Vando at the 4? And
It's funny that you asked. Saw this piece from Jovan Buha, friend of the show, covers the Lakers for The Athletic. Quote, Lakers lineups without any of their centers on the floor have outscored opponents by 4.4 points per 100 possessions per cleaning the glass. The lineups with Finney-Smith in the front court have obliterated opponents, outscoring them by 22.7 points per 100 possessions. With Vando on the floor, they've had similar results, plus 21.1. With the two together, the Lakers have outscored opponents by 17.7 points per 100 possessions. I looked at some of the numbers individually. Dorian Finney-Smith, since December 31st, his first game with the Lakers, and since then, he has not played in every single one of these games, but just as a broad template, the overall effect. The Lakers have a 6th best defensive rating in the league in the time with Dorian Finney-Smith, and a net rating of 5.5. And Dorian Finney-Smith individually, he's got the best defensive rating on the team of anybody who plays real rotation minutes, plus a good offensive rating, a net rating of 15.2. And then Vanderbilt, and I think this is a really big key, Vando's return. It's only 9 games, so again, it's not a massive sample size. But since his return, the Lakers as a team, 5th best defensive rating in the league, 10.5 net rating as a team. Vando, 2nd best defensive rating on the team of anybody who plays real minutes, 15.8 individual net rating. Of the players in the rotation, Vando currently leads the team per 36 minutes, and I think this matters because he's been on a minutes restriction. He leads the team in second chance points, deflections, offensive and defensive loose balls recovered, steals, rebounds per game, leads the team in rebounding percentage, period. That's not per 36 minutes. That's just period. And it reminds me a lot, DeAndre, of stuff we talked about earlier in the season about how the switch everything defense didn't work, in part because I don't think they had the personnel for it, but also it played into the collective energy and mentality of this team, which is pretty laid back, or it was then. Pre-Dorian Finney-Smith, pre-Vando available. This is when Gabe Vincent was working through a lot of stuff. He got out to a very slow start. And guys like LeBron, AD, Reeves, Rui, it's not a high energy, high intensity personality. And the switch everything felt like it was just leaning into the instincts of these guys, quite literally trading off assignments and not switching hard or meeting a screen before they switch, anything like that. You add DFS into the mix, you had Vando in the mix, a better Gabe Vincent. Jackson Hayes, say whatever you want about him, but he plays with energy. It feels like the 3 guys in particular, DFS, Vando, and Gabe, have changed the personality of this team in ways that if they are going to go small ball, it feels more viable now.
My thing is, if you do go small ball, and it works against certain teams, we've seen it against the Knicks, and it worked really well against a team like the Knicks.
And the Clippers.
And the Clippers as well. But I'm saying, when you get into a team against the Denver Nuggets, we got, obviously, Jokic is
I don't know if they can beat him anyway. We don't see evidence of him beating him no matter who's on the floor.
But I'm just saying, as far as a team that likes to have a bigger lineup, the Timberwolves are a perfect example of that, with Gobert and Naz Reid now. And
Randall.
And Randall, that's my only worry is about, okay, they're doing a good job as far as the rebounding battle, but against teams like that who have great size, that's the only thing that worries me come this second part of the season.
Well, I think one of the things that's really going to matter is their offense really operating well, because if they can defend off made baskets as opposed to off misses, they're going to be able to set. That's going to help. I think also, too, it's just one of the things you notice with DFS, for example, since he's returned, is he talks a lot on the court. Like, he's always calling stuff out. These guys have to be in precision. Like, everybody's going to have to anticipate what everybody else does. They got to all be communicating. They got to time the doubles and scramming out. And, like, everything has to be timed perfectly beyond, like, all the energy they need to bring and the intensity. Like, it's their offensive margin for error when you get Luka increases a ton. But when you lose AD and Max Christie, it drops some. So I will say it has worked better than I expected it would.
Isn't that funny how we started off by saying, why are they switching? You know, they're switching too much. And then when they started to switch, because like you said, they had the right personnel. And when you see it work, now it's like, okay, we're going to switch.
Real quick call. Want to hear from Hooper's X. Always welcoming his calls. How are you, man?
Good. How are you, brother?
Good.
I just wanted to say, don't get me wrong, love AD. Think he was a fantastic he is a fantastic basketball player. But I also think that it'll be interesting to see JJ make the adjustments with the current lineup, because up until about, 15 games ago, he was doing the same thing Ham was doing, which was just expecting AD to be the guy to do everything on defense, which really didn't work out for the last 3 years. So I'm excited to see him put some faith in DFS and Vando and Vincent and see what those guys can do, because, it's not a game of one guy taking on the job of doing everything on defense.
Yeah, I agree, Hooper's X.
We'll see what happens.
I appreciate the call. We're up against it, so I got to get out in a sec. But look, in fairness to Darvin, the guys that Hooper's X mentioned, DFS, Fando, Gabe, they were largely unavailable to Darvin last year. Like, for all of the faults that Darvin had as a coach, and, I had certain critiques of him myself, I'm not going to get on him for playing players that either were largely not available or, in the case of DFS, was not even on the team. Like, I do think JJ deserves credit, though, for, I think, leaning really well into a new identity of a team. And one thing I do think JJ's done well as a coach is, he's obviously very opinionated. He is somebody who is not shy about his confidence in his own intelligence. Like, I don't think JJ minds reminding people that he's the smartest guy in the room. But JJ will not hang on to his opinions or his philosophy or whatever for the sake of doing it, like out of stubbornness. Like, if there are reasons to adjust, I think we've seen JJ do it and do it pretty quickly. And it seems like first of all, I think guys like DFS and Vando and Gabe play in a style that JJ likes anyway. He talks all the time about physicality and energy and wanting to see that. He's got more guys now that actually do that stuff. So I think a lot of this leans into, for all the perception of JJ and offense and shooting and mind the game and diagramming plays, he talks up that scrap a lot. So it seems like some of these guys really lean into the stuff that he wants. All right, coming up next, going to do a little crunch time. It's going to be led by DeAndre in his debut. Very exciting. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetsky, ESPN LA 710.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. We are ranked number 18 in the nation and number 1 in Orange County for orthopedic and spine care by U.S. News & World Report. From the surf to the green, our world-class doctors are there, which is why more Californians choose Hoag Orthopedic Institute for orthopedic and spine care more than any other hospital. At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, there is no one better at getting you back to you. Proudly founded by premier physicians in partnership with Hoag. Learn more at HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com.
Hey, it's Mace. Did you know Goodwill Southern California is more than just amazing thrift finds? They're transforming lives with job training, career placement, and support services for veterans, youth, and individuals overcoming barriers to employment. Every donation and purchase fuels these life-changing programs. For more on how you can help, go to powerofwork.goodwillsocal.org. That's powerofwork.goodwillsocal.org. Brought to you by GSC Verizon Skill Forward.
Located in the heart of downtown Los Angeles, Crypto.com Arena is pulling back the curtain and unveiling new behind-the-scenes VIP tours, which offer an exclusive look inside one of the world's most iconic sports and entertainment venues. Expert guides will lead small groups through spaces that have hosted legendary sports championships, world-renowned concerts, and epic award shows. Guests will also explore the venue's VIP areas and experience the arena's latest renovations. For more info, visit cryptoarena.com/tours.
Hey, it's D4. If you're like me, you just don't want to watch the game. You want the best experience every time. That's why Absolute Sport is a game changer. VIP access to the biggest games, exclusive pregame parties, luxury hotels, whether it's courtside, ringside, or the 50-yard line, Absolute Sport makes sure you're there, not just watching, you're living the action. Visit us.absolute-sport.com. That's ABSOLUT-sport, and make your next sporting experience absolutely unforgettable.
It's crunch time on Lakers Talk.
When the clock is ticking and it's all coming down to the wire, you know what that means.
This is crunch time.
And as always, we close out Lakers Talk with a little crunch time. It is led by DeAndre Hawkins today. Is Lindsay going to be joining us? Lindsay, get in here for a little crunch time. Come on now. All right, what do you got for us, DeAndre?
All righty, so we know All-Star Weekend. Everyone had a lot of stuff to talk about NBA All-Star Weekend. Oh? Yeah, right.
Did they?
Right. So we know Draymond Green went on TNT, has some stuff to say about how he felt about the NBA All-Star Game format. And then there was a couple other guys as far as Trae Young and Jalen Williams that I saw who had some comments to make after the game. And in regards to the format and how they don't like it, it's too short. 40 points is not enough for these guys to get enough playing time. I just wanted to get your thoughts on how you feel about the format.
First of all, if you're going to have this format, you can't interrupt it with like Kevin Hart and Mr. Beast and concerts and all this other. Like, you can't keep trying to make people care about this game and take the game seriously and then have sustained breaks so other acts can perform or TNT can celebrate themselves. Like, the game either matters and it's the focus or it's not. I personally feel like they need to just land on a format, understand that people are going to complain no matter what, like log off Twitter, stop paying attention to what's being said about them, and move the F on. Like, you're never going to make everybody happy. You're never going to satisfy all the old heads who love to complain. Like, the league, I think, is too online for its own good. But the truth is, the biggest problem for the All-Star Game is not the format. It's not that the players are too spoiled and they don't care and they're not as competitive as they used to be. The problem is All-Star Games are antiquated concepts. Like, in an age where you have social media, you have the NBA package available everywhere, half these guys have their own podcasts. Like, it is not the marketing opportunity for both players and for the league that it once was. You see this in baseball. The Pro Bowl doesn't even, the Pro Bowl for the NFL, they don't even pretend to do a game anymore. Like, it's an antiquated concept. So just land on a format and stop sweating it.
I mean, it doesn't help either that Draymond's coming out there saying negative stuff. And you got your own players going out there and saying negative stuff. And it doesn't help because when, like, Draymond, we get it. He's a
provocateur.
Exactly. There you go. And he has a lot to say. And this time we respect Draymond because of what he's done for the league and his competitiveness. But like, people, look up and they see Draymond speaking about it, who has a very strong, voice and opinion. And if it's always just negative, that's not going to help, man.
Well, I mean, look, Shaq, Barkley, they've spent years just crapping on the product that they are paid tens of millions of dollars to promote. Like, this is one of those areas where if David Stern was still alive and the commissioner, I can promise you he would have sat those guys down and been like, are you out of your minds? Like, what are you doing? Like, seriously, what are you doing? But, like, the NBA has just become the league to complain about. It's just, for whatever reason, that's what it is now. And I think one of the biggest problems the league has is they care too much. They listen too much.
I want to get this one last one in here. So I saw, this is from Front Office Sports, they put out a tweet that the NBA is looking to add a 1v1 tournament to All-Star Weekend next season, with the prize rumored to be $1 million. So would you be interested in seeing, the top athletes in the world in the NBA going one-on-one for each other, against each other for $1 million prize?
Sure. I mean, that could be really fun if you could get these guys to want to do it to a point where they're willing to risk potentially getting hurt, like playing hard. Because all these guys, like especially in rings culture, all they've been told that matters is championships. So they want to be ready for that stretch run and in the best place physically possible. Most of these guys just want to break. Like, do I think it could be really cool if guys wanted to do it? Yeah. But I mean, maybe put it this way, like for someone like LeBron, that's really dicey to ask him to do that. Or like Durant or Steph, like guys like that, that's a big ask.
But what about like the rising stars? For example, like Shai Gilgeous versus John Morant one-on-one.
Oh, dude, it
would bring the audience. Okay, you got something going on.
That would definitely bring the audience if these guys were really into doing it, for sure.
Kyrie would win it all.
Kyrie would be really good.
Yeah, he would one-on-one. Yeah,
I think he'd win.
Kyrie would. I mean, it would be pretty guard-driven, I think, or maybe unless you're talking about like a, I don't know, whatever you consider a
Rudy Gobert versus Wembanyama.
Oh, that'd be so ugly.
Oh my God. Well, I think Wembanyama would just be able to quite literally run circles around Gobert. Like I don't know what. I don't mean that. I know everyone loves to cap on Gobert. I don't even mean it like that. I don't know what he could do. Like Wembanyama can move so many spaces all over the court. Gobert can basically only dunk.
And he can't dribble.
No, that would be the unintentional comedy would be awesome, but I don't know if that's really good basketball. Right. Do you think these guys would actually do it though?
I don't know. I've been seeing stuff like John Morant, because out there Mac McClung won again, three-peat winner. He was tweeting out stuff like, Mac wants making me want to come out and do the dunk contest.
But it's easy to say that in February 2025.
And then Giannis came out, said that if John does it, I would do
Zach
it.
LaVine.
They do that every year though. Like that's the thing. Every year on the dunk contest, other guys are like, "Oh, I'm going to do it," and they never do.
So if they can't even do a dunk contest, like what makes you think they're going to go out there and play one-on-one against each other?
By the way, Mac McClung, if nothing else this weekend, earned himself a lifetime G League contract just to be brought in every year to keep the dunk contest relevant. Like he is like the Salvador Dali of dunks. like he's really creative and he's kind of weird with the way he does it. Like he's found his niche, and that dude he's a sick athlete.
He's made more money in the dunk contest than he's done in his NBA career.
Oh, dude, I'm not even joking. I think he's essential now for the G League to have him around just so he's available for this dunk contest. Like it's
see him dunk
amazing.
over my guy.
Mm-hmm. He'll dunk over anyone, man. He doesn't care. He did a real dunk over Ikea.
Wemby.
I don't know if that's physically possible. All right, this has been Lakers Talk. Appreciate Josiah Johnson dropping by. Appreciate Shawn Davis. Obviously appreciate Lindsay. Appreciate DeAndre. We will be back next week. I got to double check which day it is, but watch on Twitter @CamBrothers. I will tweet it out. Thanks to everyone for listening. 710 ESPN.
The biggest show on the radio.